Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair? Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? I know. There is a fix for this. In Cura, or whatever slicer you use. And it's called Fuzzy Skin. What else would Fuzzy Skin be for, right? Besides giving Fuzzy Wuzzy some fuzz, right? Right? Let's fix this.
Alright, so the first thing we need to do is get Fuzzy Wuzzy into Kira. There he is. So let's slice him up. Preview, no fuzzy. So let's get Fuzzy Skin. All the way at the bottom. Enable Fuzzy Skin. Slice it. It's more bumpy. We need fuzzy.
First thing to do is change the thickness to 3 and point distance also to 3.
There we go. Let's hit print.
That's much better. Look at how fuzzy. Fuzzy Wuzzy's very fuzzy now. Alright, thanks for watching. Now we got Fuzzy Wuzzy very fuzzy, and I think that's all that Fuzzy Skin is used for, right? So make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I will... Wait. Could Fuzzy Skin be used for something else? Something more practical? Let's find out, shall we?
Okay, so I got into Fusion 360 and quickly modeled up what you see here. It's a pretty silly, simple shape with some sharp edges, some rounded edges, tops, some curvature to it, just to kind of give varying geometry to see how the different geometries are affected by Fuzzy Skin. So let's get into Cura and see how it goes. Alright, so the model is loaded up in Cura 4 different times, with them all being identical except for having different Fuzzy Skin parameters. So I'm calling this A, B, C, and D. A has 0 Fuzzy Skin, just a normal print. B has a Fuzzy Skin thickness of 0.5 and point distance of 1.0. C has a Fuzzy Skin of 0.1 and distance of 0.25 millimeters. And D in the back has a Fuzzy Skin of 0.1 but a point distance of 0.5. And so what do those differences look like in Cura? So starting off on the control, you can see there are just no fuzziness. It's just a standard wall as is designed in Fusion 360. Coming over to B, which has the most amount of fuzziness, the thickness basically defines how far the point of the fuzziness, to call it that, sticks out beyond what the wall should normally be like. So if this is the normal wall right here, this point here could be 0.5 millimeters away from where it would normally be. And then the point distance is directly related to the density. It's an inverse relationship. I like to use the point distance. It just makes more sense to me. And what that is basically saying is you can see there's a point, a point, a point, a point, a point, a point, that those should be 1 millimeter apart from each other. And so if you have more points, then this is going to be much more jagged. If you have less points, there's going to be less jitter on the fuzziness. For example, if you were to go over to C with a very small skin thickness, you can see it's barely sticking out from the wall there, and it has a point distance of 0.25 millimeters, which equates to the density being 4.0. It's basically, like I said, it's just the inverse relationship, and that basically means that the point distance will be 0.25 millimeters away from each other, or 4 points in 1 millimeter is the other way of looking at it. So C and D both have the same thickness, just different point distances. So basically different densities of the points, just to kind of see how they compare. So I'm going to print this up 3 different times at different layer heights, and then we'll go over the results.
3 days later.
Alright, so I printed them 3 different times at 3 different layer heights, 0.05, 0.15, and 0.3 millimeters.
My thinking is that this way we can compare how much fuzzy skin can allow you to hide the layer lines and maybe print with thicker layers. That way you can save a lot of printing time. So starting out, we have the control sample. These are samples A without any fuzzy skin. You can see at 0.5, 0.15, and 0.3 millimeter layer height what they look like. And as you can see right off the bat, there is a lot of ghosting around corners and very visible Z-seams no matter what layer height you are, and obviously the thicker layers, you can really see the individual layers. And moving on to the B samples, obviously these have very excessive fuzzy skin. At the 0.05, it's not too bad, but anything beyond that, and it really looks terrible, especially at the 3.0 millimeter layer height. So I wouldn't really consider this usable for most situations. But the Z-seam is basically invisible. Now moving on to the C samples, you can see it's starting to look a lot better. The Z-seam is visible here, but that's because I intentionally made it as apparent as possible just to see how it compares to without fuzzy skin. If I had done randomize on the Z-seam, it would be completely invisible. Zooming on in, you can see how it really changes how the prints look. The 0.05 millimeter layer height basically just feels like 100 grit sandpaper, and that's kind of what it looks like in person. The textures get really looking pretty good, and even though you can easily see the bumps here, this is pretty harsh lighting, and zoomed in person it doesn't look quite like that. I think they're starting to look really good for a product, and between C and D they are very similar looking. And at this point it really just gets into personal preference of what you like to look at. And zooming on in, you can really start to see that it becomes harder to distinguish between C and D, where the fuzzy skin thickness is the same, just the point density changes. And this really just becomes more personal preference and seeing it in person, what you think looks better to you. And these are all 0.15 samples, A, B, C, and D, to see how they all look like next to each other at the same layer height. And finally, I put all 12 samples together so you can see how the fuzzy skin looks with different geometries spinning around and compared to different layer heights and fuzzy skin settings. I'll let this play out for a little bit.
Honestly, for the longest time, I didn't even consider using fuzzy skin because I thought this is all it was for. I was picturing those old lions from a long time ago where basically you would use stringing on a lion head to make a mane that you would then use a heat gun and melt it down so it looks like a nice flowy mane. But I thought this was all it was useful for until I saw a post on Reddit that just changed my mind and basically just showed it as a nice little texture on the part, hid the layer lines, and it looked so much better. It looked like a proper, actually injection molded part, properly finished and done and ready for sale. So that completely changed my mind, and I immediately started looking into how to use fuzzy skin and have it be more useful for me. So one thing that really can make a difference is where you're going to use it. If you're using it for a consumer product, you might want it to be a very, very fine, let's call it a grit, where the spacing and the size of the fuzziness is very, very minute. For example, my laptop over there has a very fine texture to it. It basically gives it the matte surface, which is what you're basically trying to replicate with something like that. If you see this mouse, you can see that tiny little texture in it. So fuzzy skin can help mimic that texture and give your prints a nice matte surface. On the other hand, if you're using it in an automotive application where, so you're looking at a dashboard, it has this big thermoformed panel and it has a very coarse texture to it. And basically you want something to kind of match that as much as you can. And that's where something where using a thick layer line and, a decent spacing can really work out for you. So something like this here, which I'm using in the van for some wire management, there's basically channels for wires in there. really looks good to have that texture on it. For comparison, on the other side, the fuzzy skin didn't work quite right. We'll talk about that soon. And you can tell the difference of what that looks like, how shiny it is versus that nice matte texture. It's a perfect example of what the difference of fuzzy skin and just a standard 3D printed part looks like. To me, the fuzzy skin looks a lot better. There's definitely some useful situations where you would want to really use and dive into fuzzy skin, and some areas where it might not be the best idea. If you're going for dead set accuracy, you need a part to be exactly 20 millimeters wide or whatever. Don't use fuzzy skin, because the fuzzy skin is going to add a random amount of thickness to it. Just that's how it's creating that texture. So if you need dead set accuracy, don't use fuzzy skin. Beyond that, there are a few situations where I think fuzzy skin can really improve the final product of a 3D printed part. One being, it kind of helps to hide the fact that it's a 3D printed part. It does this in a few different ways. One is it helps to hide layer lines here. So you can see all the layer lines, you can feel that texture, you hide it. So normally, this is a 0.3 layer height, it's pretty high. The normal way to hide that is just to go with a really fine layer height, but that of course, increases your speed time by whatever that difference is. It scales accordingly. So for example, this is a 0.30, this is a 0.05 layer height, very, very tiny layers. This took obviously 6 times as long to print as this did, which is crazy. And you still can see the layers if you look closely enough and feel enough. This is where fuzzy skin can really help to hide the layers. This is a 0.3 layer part, and you can hardly even see the layers. You would almost never know that this was 3D printed. So this helps you to save a lot of print time by increasing the size of the layer, reducing the amount of time it takes to print. You can really, really increase your throughput on 3D printing by adding some texture to it. Another way that fuzzy skin can help hide the fact that it's a 3D printed part is it can hide the Z-seam pretty well. Now, I made these as obvious as possible on the Z-seam. That's why you can see, this extreme light, that little shadow line there. But if you were to look at a part where the Z-seam was kind of random, like on this one, I have no idea where the seams are. They're completely hidden. You don't see it. So you gain that aspect. You don't have on the corners that seam there, or so you have that seam here without the fuzzy skin, and that looks pretty ugly. Another way that fuzzy skin can really help improve the look of a part is, besides hiding that seam line, it can hide all the ghosting around any sharp corner in your part. You can see how terrible all this ghosting is. This is on a 0.05 layer part. These are the exact same part, with the only difference being the fuzzy skin. Same layer height, same everything else. And you can see there's zero ghosting on the part with the fuzzy skin. That makes a huge, huge improvement on how a part looks. It can also hide, you can even see where the infill, this is a very thin part, which is why you can really see the infill. You can see how the infill is on the walls there. You don't get that at all with fuzzy skin. Another part where fuzzy skin can help improve the function of a part is by giving it a grip. So if you need something that has a bit of a grip, you're going to hold on to it. This gives you some texture to hold on to, like an actual handle to a drill or whatever, where it helps prevent it from sliding around. You get that extra little grip, which is kind of a nice little feature to have.
So jumping back to that one part earlier, one thing I've noticed in Cura is if you have a part with a long, straight wall oriented in the y direction, double check, because you might see that on one side you have fuzzy skin, but on the other side you don't have consistent fuzzy skin. In fact, the majority of it is just straight walls as a normal 3D printed part. So a quick fix, just angle it, reslice, and no problem. Fuzzy skin all around.
I hope you've enjoyed going down this fuzzy skin journey with me. It's really been something that I think has really added a lot to my 3D printing parts. So I feel like the quality of each print looks so much better just by adding a little bit of fuzzy skin, a little bit of texture to it. It makes the part look so much better, especially if your machine is a little bit older, like my Lulz bot. and maybe you could use a tune-up, and even with a tune-up and everything being perfect, it's still not a perfect printer. You still get a lot of ghosting and things like that. So it can really help with the cosmetic side of your prints. I think it makes the finished parts look much more professional and off of a production line. So I think that's really, really cool. So if you've enjoyed learning more about Fuzzy Skin, make sure you let me know down below. Hit that like button and subscribe for more videos coming out. I have some ideas for some more exploration videos like this. If you want to see that, let me know. And hopefully I will see you in those future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye. And by the way, I printed all these before I had my new Wuxen printer, so that's why these kind of look like crap. They're on my old Lowell spot, which I haven't tuned in quite a while. So I think the belts are getting a little bit loose. And they're about 10 years old. I never replaced them, so. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.